Hey everyone, David Nuño, the new host of TexAgs Radio. Day one for me here in the books, and we had a great show. OB obviously in the house, Luch was in the house, Spencer Tillman, and the great John Harris, all talking about great things Texas A&M. One of the big topics was, should Texas A&M and Texas play again? That's a topic we've heard many, many times, but Luch had a little firestorm over the weekend where he said that Texas needs A&M on their schedule. We broke that all down. Make sure you smash the like button and watch this. We're going to try to develop more shows here on YouTube and beyond. It is the TexAgs Radio Rewind.
I think it should be Nuño's Niños, but
I'm here for Nuño's Niños. What's up, boys? Good morning.
Dalton, one of the things that I am excited about doing this show is this is day one. But the fact that we have a relationship already, that, I've been coming to these headquarters since February, right? We've been talking for quite a while, putting the pieces in play, and I'm excited. Just broke my mic. How was that? To join you here and do the show. So that's the only time I'm going to give you props. Richard Zane back there as well, Jams, the whole crew.
I don't do well with nice words. So, yeah, be mean, be honest. That's all we need. I will say Olin's voice. I've also always heard TexAgs Radio compared to Deliverance when OB's on there. So.
I can't deny that.
I know.
OB, I really liked it. Give us some of your thoughts breaking it down, because you went through and you kind of broke down, not just the offense and the defense, but the questions at quarterback, the questions on offensive line, defense returning all these starters. Mm-hmm. Kind of walk us through.
Yeah, sure. First of all, there's a question by a guy named Jay Pops. He's a big A&M fan out of Houston, and he has a podcast, and he brought up that question on Twitter, sent it to me, and that's what got me thinking. Well, first of all, you're going to start with nine defensive starters returning, and really you could make a case that there's 11, but 9 full-time starters coming back from a defense that was ninth in the country last year, and that was despite facing 3 of the best quarterbacks in the country, and Mac Jones and Kyle Trask and Sam Howell. So there's every reason to think A&M's defense is going to be as good or better than it was last year. So I think you start off with a strong defense. That's a reason that you could feel like you could win it as early as this year. Again, I'm not saying they will, but could they? Absolutely. This is some reasons. Isaiah Spiller.
As far as who needs it more, I'll be honest, I think just the state of Texas needs it, really. I think, and here's why I say that. I think A&M has done unbelievable recruiting with Jimbo. Texas has done okay. It's Texas. And I think A&M's recruiting has gone gangbusters. But I'm still seeing players leave this state. They're still going places, and you're like, man, why is Jalen Waddle from right there in Houston going to Alabama? And, I get it. It's rhetorical. I get it. It's Alabama. But Walker Little was at the same school. He went to Stanford. Marvin Wilson was at the same school. He went to Florida State. Why are they leaving the state of Texas to go somewhere else? And look, I get it. I did that to go to college. I went to Brown, but I was one of 315 kids in my graduating class. I went out of state. I was the only one to go out of state. So there's a very provincial attitude about Texas. But the state of Texas has got to provide an opportunity for kids to watch Texas and Texas A&M play, to go, you know what, I want to play in that game.
Right now, if you're doing the aggregate the last 10 years, you're going to have to say that Texas is in a much more desperate situation. But a lot of times we're the last to see, or the person that's really in need of some help is the last to recognize that they've sunk so low. And again, I'm not doing this for the audience or anything like that. The bottom line is this: I'm an analyst. I say what I see. And I look at Texas right now. I look at, particularly the inflection point for me probably started before then, but it was when Mac Brown left his last year. There was zero players recruited or drafted from that recruiting class that he had, which was supposed to be the best one. That was his calling card. And you can see it. You look at his quarterback that he has right now. That's what saved him at North Carolina. He was always known for his recruiting, even because he was my recruiter, my offensive coordinator at Oklahoma back in the day. And we used to always joke that Mac could convince a shark that the desert is the best place for him to be. He was so good at it. And for that to happen, there had to be some other fundamental reason for why Texas was not getting players. And the final thing to see is, well, the judgment is you didn't have any players drafted that last year. That was incredible to me. And that was the inflection point. But like always, those things start long before you get to that point. We just see the clear evidence of that situation. So to answer your question, I would think that Texas A&M is in a much better position, in my opinion, because of its leadership than Texas is right now.
But I'll tell you this. When you talk about that game, here's my take on it. You nailed it with what you said. Think about a casino, or think about Vegas, right? To me, in this rivalry right now, as things stand, forget about the fact that Texas is the one that stopped it. But right now, Texas is the house. Texas is Vegas. You see all the casinos built. You see that new football stadium that I'm thinking about flying down there and watching Garth Brooks in this weekend. I just found out yesterday he's playing there. But you see everything going on in Vegas. That's because the house wins. If you play Texas and you play them twice, you play them 4 times, you play them 10 times. If you play them twice and they win 1, they get the better of the exchange in a landscape, in this state, what they benefit from it versus A&M. If you play them 4 times and they win 2, if you play them 4 times, you got to win 3. If you play them 10 times, David, you probably got to win 7 of them because of where you're at and also because of your schedule. Forget about just the perception and what Texas is trying to climb up, whether they admit that or not. They got their hand out for a life preserver. They're your arch rival in recruiting and for the hearts and minds in this state. Why would you throw them a life vest? Let him be Leo. Let him drown. Don't reach a hand out to help them. How many times have you seen that movie? You reach the hand out and they pull you in. If you play them 4 times in your A&M, you have to win 3.
Yep.
If you split with them, the house wins. Chris Del Conte, Texas, Steve Sarkisian, they win. So why would you enter into something like that? And here's the deal. Well, it's for the sake of the rivalry. And you're not scared to play, so let's play. Well, but you also, they want to point out all these 3 non-conference cupcakes A&M play. But they also play a brutal 8-game schedule every year in a brutal division. And then on top of that, they've got a marquee. This year, Colorado, you wouldn't call marquee, but then it's Miami, then it's Notre Dame. Right. There is no need to do it because not only are you in a deal where you have to win 3 out of every 4 practically, but you also have just turned your schedule from one of the strongest in the country to probably, or more often than not, it's going to be the strongest.